When you focus on relationships and not the outcomes become more predictable. My name's Clay Hicks. I'm the CEO founder of H7 Network. I'm here with Dan Hackett. Dan is from Cincinnati. He is our Alpha Team lead for our B2B group, our very first one in person that I would imagine that most people may not even know exists, considering we have 47 meetings a week that are all over Zoom, right? We got 26 in the pipeline. We're expanding all across the world. But right here in Cincinnati, Dan Hackett took the opportunity to build something great, and he worked with his leaders to do so. So I'd like to introduce everybody to Dan Hackett. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you, Clay. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Dan, why don't you tell the group a little, or the community, a little bit about yourself?
Well, a lifelong resident of Cincinnati, a couple years in Columbus, but really a lifelong resident in Cincinnati. Um, I am fascinated with Cincinnati history, and that becomes relevant why I really just created the group. But in terms of my background, I work with small business owners. I take my background as a CPA, a CFO, and company president, and I help owners make profitable decisions, which sounds interesting and vague at the same time. But I do that with a couple step process. First, we create consistent profits. We find profits that are already inside their business. And then I help them to re-engage their team, not swap out their team, but re-engage their team. Because if the business is going to grow, it's the team that has to drive what I call those everyday profits. And then that allows the owner to really get back to their strengths, not unlike networking, get back to their strengths to really propel the business forward.
How long have you been doing that, Dan? How long have you been doing
So, in a sense, I've been doing it my entire life because I've worked with small business owners in a consulting capacity, as a CPA capacity, and then of course I've run one. This current edition though, this is year 6 now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. You want to tell us a little bit about your personal life, your family?
Yeah. Yeah. So I have I always everyone will understand this. You always start with grandchildren. And I have 6 grandchildren, all age 6 and under. And they all live within 15 minutes of us. So you pretty much know what we're doing when I'm not working. And we couldn't be happier with that. Um, been married for 38 years now, and live in Blue Ash, and having lived in Evendale, really where the kids grew up, and to go all the way back, I grew up in Finneytown. So in terms of Cincinnati, I've always kind of hung around the northern and the northern central part of it.
Dan, just so that people can be thinking about you as well. I mean, you're putting a lot of service into building this group, and
Mhm.
there's no doubt you portray or behave in the connect, serve, and ask way. So we want to give you a chance to ask what you're looking for too. So do you mind sharing a few industries that you may want to connect with? Maybe who are good uh, potential partners, and then maybe a couple of prospect industry you could share with the group so they can be on the lookout for you.
Yeah. One of the marketing steps I take in addition to networking is I host a workshop, and it's only a 2-hour workshop, and it is no cost, and it is every single business owner who has come through the workshop has walked away with ideas to increase their profit. Every business owner that has come through enjoyed it so much that they have given me names of other business owners who they want to attend. And maybe the most interesting comment was from a local banker who said that my workshop should be required for any business owner who wants to borrow money from their bank. We get really deep, and they walk away with tools. So partners, I'm actually working on some partnerships with some current members in my group. Um, CPAs, attorneys, I would love to do a joint workshop. I love doing workshops, but I don't always have to be the one up there. So others who want to target small business owners, digital marketing agencies, we can easily pull our concepts together and make a pretty compelling case for not only profit acceleration, but the service that the other person offers.
I really like the idea. You as an ALF team lead, like you're kind of taking that to that next level. You put together a leadership team, you put on a good group, you got great people coming to your meeting, all that great stuff. But you're actually a champion. True champion says, you know what, this is great. Except I also want to do business in other ways, but I like to bring people with me. And I appreciate that about you, Dan.
One of the reasons I was interested in the local group is so that I could meet those potential partners.
Yes.
Because, otherwise, how's it going to happen?
Yeah, that's right.
It's
That's right. That's right. Thank you.
it's the it's the fastest way to partnerships.
It is. It is. Which is a great segue into what ended up, like, tell us more about why you ended up just starting to the B2B Cincinnati group. Like, you're the first one to do in person, and you handled it like a champ. You're like, oh, nobody else is doing it, I'll do it anyway. I
Yeah, I'll do
love
it anyway.
it. So,
Well, yeah, as you know, I was a part of the Hub group on Fridays, a virtual B2B, and I love that group, and I love the pace, and really enjoyed meeting all of those people. Part of my work is also on the fractional side, where I'm as much a fractional COO as CFO, and honestly, those work out better locally. And so, as I was making progress with the hub, I really just started thinking about everything that I do in Cincinnati. I just support the local economy as much as I can. My workshops are currently local. I'll get virtual soon, but I thought, why not plant a flag instead of just meeting all these great people virtually. Follow up, we all know, is difficult and it takes time, but when you can have that one-on-one, that is person to person, you walk away with so much more understanding. And then honestly, the reason for B2B is a couple reasons. One, I realized that you didn't have any in-person B2B, so I thought, let's try it. And secondly, it's just my orientation, and that's who I work best with. So I thought, let's just give it a shot.
thank you. Thank you. And we deeply appreciate that. You're doing great work down there. Directors share, many people have shared about the job you're doing. So thank you, Dan.
Yeah, thanks.
Um, so this meeting, you want to tell them about it real quick? You want to share a little bit about that meeting, time, day, all that stuff?
Oh, sure. So we are Thursday mornings from 8:30 to 9:30. We with the H7 member OfficeKey has generously allowed us to use their training room at their Rookwood location. So we are as centrally located as you can possibly get, which is really the other reason that we wanted to start there. We pull from Northern Kentucky. We pull from Butler County, we pull from Anderson Township and the West Side. So it's all working, but every Thursday, 8:30 to 9:30. The format isn't terribly different from any other H7 meeting, except what members have told me is our activities tend to go in a slightly different direction, and we work very, very hard on sharing and articulating value. Because what I keep coming back to with business owners and solopreneurs, if you can't articulate your value, you're left to compete on price. And we spend many, many different activities helping people articulate their value. And what the members say is they learn so much about the other person helping them articulate their value that the relationships are, almost accelerating. They're really, and it's why we were able to start off with a core of 10 to 12, and now the core is kind of 12 to 14 without any marketing.
Yeah, and it's all B2B too. Do you want to thank you for sharing that? Do you want to share a couple of the industries that may be in there that you kind of come across the most inside of your meeting?
Oh, sure. So we obviously have some digital marketing. We have a couple different financial opportunities. There's financial planning, there's bookkeeping, fractional CFO, and we have a great mix of IT because we have different specializations of IT that can handle the solopreneur all the way up to very, very large organizations, business signs, and some recruiting and really just everything in between. It's a great mix, and we are not overly concentrated in one area.
All right, so Dan, so for those of you who are listening, you definitely want to connect with Dan on LinkedIn, and you'll be able to do that from this, of course, this blog and everything that we're writing and PR about what we're doing with Dan and the group he's creating. So, just a small, simple message here for you, Dan. Thank you so much for what you're doing. The impact that you're making, there's no doubt, is huge. So,
Ah, well, thank you, Clay. I appreciate H7, everything you've done.
yeah,
And we're at 10 to 12, but I've told you this and we're going to get there. We need to be 18 to 20 regularly. We'll
100%,
get there. We'll get there.
100%. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, Dan. I'll see you soon.